Okay, hi everyone and welcome if you're watching the replay later on. And to those of you that are online, thank you so much for being here. What we're going to do today is go through the 5-day money challenge, what it's all about, and how on earth you can actually start to physically and energetically see the money, the finances, and also the energy of your business or your money flow start to change, not only over the 5 days, but it will continue for as long as you are willing and wanting to keep playing with this. The other thing that is important for, why I'm doing this is to show you how quick this can be. For those of you who are not so familiar with or kind of still quite not sure about what I talk about a lot, which is the energetic congruence of things. I love to talk about not just the practical aspects of business, but I am the person that likes to bring together and talk about congruence, not only physically and emotionally, but also energetically. So energetically, if you haven't seen it before in your life, I promise you will start seeing it over the next 5 days, how quickly something changes. I'm talking in a matter of minutes. Now, for those of you that haven't seen or weren't on the Facebook Live the other day, we hadn't even officially started the challenge. I wanted to jump on and start giving you guys some value and some tools and tips, and I didn't even realize that it would activate all those energies of money starting to come in, and B, I was talking to someone the next day and I said, I didn't realize it was going to work on my money flows too. And so I started to see the money come in instantly from the hour after I did that. And, some of you may think, oh, that's, that kind of makes sense. But it was because I was talking to potential clients, so there were people on there that then might have reached out. I had 4 new clients reach out to me or book in immediately, most of them for emergency sessions. But they were all clients that had not been on that call and are not part of this group. So that was extra income for that week because it was on the Facebook Live was on Thursday. By Friday, I had seen and processed these for emergency extra clients. So that was more money for me in my business. And so when I start talking about that, thank you. And Rushi's just put a comment. One of the participants has just put a comment in the chat box saying that being energetically congruent has changed so much. And it does. Being energetically congruent with something is the thing that changes or gets you results instantly. It's the thing that you could be in your life, in your business, trying to get somewhere or trying to do something for days and days and weeks, and sometimes years and years on end. And it does not happen. And this is why, and this is when people go, the law of attraction doesn't work, or that energetic stuff is crap, or I'm a failure at business because I tried and I tried and I tried, and I just can't make it happen. And the element that's often missing is congruence. Even though they may really think they want that thing and every day go out and physically do the thing to make it happen, either mentally, emotionally, or energetically, they are not congruent with that thing. For example, when I was doing my Business with Spring class earlier this year in India, one of the participants said he had on 4 separate occasions, 1, 2, 3, 4, $1 million deal fall through. So he had 4 occasions to close $1 million deal, and each of those times the deal fell through. Now, when that happens once, you beat yourself up. When that happens twice, you go, what on earth? If that happens to you 4 times, you really start to think you are unable or incapable of closing $1 million deal. And that's what your subconscious mind starts creating. I thought it was amazing that he had gotten to the point where he had created an opportunity to close $1 million deal. But how heartbreaking is it when you lose out on that opportunity, and not just once, not just twice, but 4 times? So because of the work I do, I said to him, look, it's almost impossible for you to miss out on $1 million deal 4 times and then not be a subconscious reason why you don't want that to happen, or why you're not congruent with closing that deal, that's causing you to think cognitively that you just can't do it, or you're not able to do it. You don't have what it takes to close the deal. So we explored and we explored and we explored, and what we got to was, in his subconscious mind, our subconscious mind is what it's not what we cognitively and logically think of. It's that emotional part of our brain that is irrational, and it has these patterns and memories and behaviors that get formed often when we're very young in life, or that are controlled by what the inner child, if you want to use that term, in you still believes. Now, his subconscious mind believed that if he closed $1 million deal and made that much money, he would no longer be able to have a relationship with his father, because his relationship with his father was based on the dynamic of the dad having the financial authority and more money than him, and being able to control and support his son because he was always the guy that had more money. So it was a parent-child relationship. And if this man, who was now an adult, actually closed $1 million deal, and that parent-child relationship financially became equal, or actually outweighed how much money the father had, he didn't think his father could handle that and would no longer be able to have him in his life. So that is what I mean by subconscious conditioning. What is the subconscious reason you are not making money, my friends? Are you not allowed to make more money than your partner if you're a male or a female? Are you not meant to be the primary breadwinner? Did you always get told that you were no good when you went to school and you would never amount to anything? Do you not want to make more money or be more successful than everyone else in your family? Are you the first person in your family that's gone into business, and you don't actually believe that you can make more than this cap that your family makes? There's all this subconscious conditioning that happens that creates the reason why we have the realities that we do with our money, our business, and in fact, every area of our life. Why am I choosing to focus on money and business? And why do I, who, I have a long history of working with people and working with clients and working with health and bodies, why am I suddenly focusing so much on business and on money? There's 2 reasons for that. Number 1, I have seen it, and I've also experienced it myself, that money is the place that will trip you up the most and will often cause the most angst and the most feelings of failure and the most amount of pain for you when you don't have enough money to do the things that you want to do. It is the thing that people use to define their success the most in this world. What I mean by that is I will have extremely amazing, competent, amazing mums who are running their family, doing what they are meant to do, making a huge contribution to their family, to society, being a great partner, wife, friend, daughter, daughter-in-law, all of these things. However, because they don't make money of their own, or aren't making as much money as they would like, or are not seen to be standing on their own 2 feet, their self-worth or how successful they feel is really low. Or I have people in business who have been trying and trying and trying to get to a certain level, or to break through a certain barrier, or even just make their business profitable. And because they're not quite getting there, and in business, and I've been in business for a while now, and I've got multiple businesses, and I work with a lot of people in business, I really know the truths around how business can look on the outside. You can look quite successful. You can look like you're making money. You can even be bringing in a lot of money. But you can have a lot of money going out. You can be still having very high levels of debt, and you can still feel like you cannot figure out this thing to do with money. And it can make you really down and depressed. So that is one of the main reasons I'm focusing so much on money in business, because I know how much pain it can cause in your life and the follow-on effects that has on family and relationships and self-worth and mental health. The second reason I'm focusing on money and the business aspect of it, and why I have programs like the Business Upgrade program that's coming soon, and it's starting shortly, and we look at, just like I gave you that example about the guy in the $1 million deal before, and you could see the subconscious conditioning that related not only to money and business, but to his family, that would be impacting his family life, probably his relationships, every area of his life. I use that program to clear all of the subconscious conditioning in the 6 most important categories that I have come across. And the reason I do that is because the people that have a business or have a company, they often are in contact with or have an impact greater than just on them or their immediate family. What do I mean by that? It means if I can help you be more successful in your business and in your life, then the impact that we can make, the impact that having more people who are consciously doing business practices and are treating their employees with this same information and in the same regard and creating these conscious business practices, it means the impact I have and we have is greater. Which is why I'm focusing and doing more work with businesses and people in business, because you often in a day-to-day or in a week will be in contact with way more people. And if you employ staff, if you have other colleagues, if you deal with lots of other people in your line of work, the impact that this work has the potential to be a lot greater. So those are the 2 reasons why I'm really focusing on helping you get clear with this, because not only will it help you then, the flow-on effects from this can be amazing. Okay, so are we ready to get started? And you guys are muted, but like I said, you're allowed to speak and you're allowed to comment and you're allowed to tell me what may be coming up for you, because there is often gold in what's coming up for you. And what's coming up for one of you or a couple of you will also be coming up for many others, either now or for those people that are watching the replay, okay?
So I'm ready to get started, Adeela. Smriti here.
Okay. So if I don't have any questions, I am going to get started with this 5-day challenge. What on earth is it? How's it going to work? And how's it going to help you make more money over the next 5 days, each and every day? So, money, money, money. It's the thing that I believe creates, like I said earlier, it's the flip side. It's like we can do this work all day long and you know stuff is changing. But often when you see money especially come in and you see the change in your financial life and you see yourself progress forward, you actually really start to believe that something is changing when it comes in the form of cold hard cash. So I thought, well, if we're going to do a challenge, we might as well make it about the cold hard cash. So if you've got your piece of paper and a pen, this is how the 5-day challenge is going to work. Over the next 5 days, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is choose a figure that you would like to create that is over and above what you would normally be creating. So for those of you who currently make no amount of money because you don't have a business, you don't have an income, maybe you're a student, maybe you're a stay-at-home mum, and there's no fixed amount of income or money coming in that you expect to receive every week or day or whatever it is, choose a figure. And what I want you guys to do is to choose a figure that you so I want you guys to choose a figure that falls in line with you and where you're at. So like I said, if you're a student or a stay-at-home mum and that figure is 0 currently, then the figure that you would choose might be somewhere between 20, and I'm going to use dollars, so $20 to $100 a day. So depending on what part of the world that you were in, make it something that would be really great for you and really light for you to receive, but also that you believe isn't completely unreachable. Because remember that this is all about congruence as well. So it would be awesome if we all said, yeah, we want to create an extra $1,000 or $10,000 a day for the next 5 days. Now, how many of you actually believe, based on where you currently are, that an extra $10,000 a day is really easy to make and you would actually make it? That, my friends, is actually how you set yourself up for failure. When you try and convince yourself or talk yourself into doing something that you subconsciously believe is not possible. If you absolutely, though, and this is my disclaimer, if you absolutely felt that $10,000 a day or $1,000 a day could come in over the next 5 days per day, and you have no qualms about that and completely trust in the universe and in your ability to create and pull that in, then go for it. However, like I said, I'm going to ask you guys to choose a figure that is congruent for you, that is light for you. And when you think about that figure, it makes you go, oh, it would be so nice to get an extra $20 a day or $50 a day, because over 5 days at the end of the week, $20 a day means you've got $100 at the end of the week to take yourself out for a massage or a really nice meal, or buy yourself that pair of shoes you've had your eye on but didn't know how you could afford. Okay? So choose that figure that feels right for you. Conversely, if you're in business, if you're a big money maker and a big money spender, and that amount of money it comes in every day, again, choose a figure that as a percentage makes sense for you. So if you have a business or you have an income where you do make $10,000 a week or $1,000 a week, then choose a figure that is more in line with an unexpected yet believable for you where you are currently at figure for you to pull in that's extra for you for this week. So it might be $100 or $200, because again, if at the end of those 5 days you have an extra $1,000 or you have an extra $500, then that's a nice little amount of money that will make you feel happy when you look at it, and will also prove to you. Now, this is why this figure is important, and it's why I want you to have this piece of paper, because I want you to write it down and not forget the figure and not get to the 3rd day and go, what was that figure again? Okay, so I want you to think of a figure that makes you feel light, that would make you at the end of those 5 days to have that amount be like, oh, that was so great. I can pull in more than where I've right now capped myself, or think that that's all the money I can bring in. And if you don't make any money currently, choose a figure that's believable to you. If you make lots of money currently, choose a figure that's congruent with you. So choose a figure. So I'm going to choose one too. So I want you to write down per day what that figure would be, and it's the same figure every day. And so then I want you to times that by 5, or add that up by 5 on your fingers. And I want you to write down how much money you would then have at the end of 5 days over and above what you would expect to have. Okay, cool. And now I want you, okay, so how are you guys feeling about these figures? A little bit of feedback if you want to type it in or yell out to me. How are you feeling about getting this extra amount of money that you've just written down as your figure? Is it exciting? Is it light? Are you kind of pretty
Exciting?
I want it to be an amount that makes you feel like, oh yeah, if I pull this off, I'd be pretty pleased with myself. Okay, that makes you feel good about having that much extra money in your life.
It feels exciting.
And the last thing I want you to do with your piece of paper and a pen is write down one more figure. And this is a different figure. This is a figure that if you made this amount of money, you would be completely chuffed with yourself. And so when I say chuffed, I mean you'd be a little blown away, a little awed and a little inspired, because you've just pulled off something that you really like, but you don't, is just outside of that, what I was talking about earlier, which is that completely congruent and believable figure. So what do I mean by that? So if your figure, for example, guys, was $20 extra a day, so your figure for the week would have been $100. Your bonus figure or your super duper feel good figure is going to be something that's a little bit over and above. So it might be $250. If your figure was $500 for the week, it might be $1,000 that you'd be really quite pleased with if at the end of 5 days you pulled in an extra $500. If you have a business and your figure was more like $1,000 a day or $2,000 a day, then that extra, and I'm doing the total figure rather than the individual by day figure for this one, then choose something bigger. It might be $5,000. It might be $10,000. You might be doing big business. The figure might be $500,000. I don't know what your turnover is and your revenue is monthly or weekly. So please choose figures that are in line with your current financial or money reality, because we're going to just stretch you out of that a little bit and show you how easy it is to create and generate more. So I have got those two figures. Does everyone, three figures on my page. I have got my daily figure that I would like to be pulling in every day for the next 5 days, over and above what I have scheduled and what I know that I normally make. Secondly, I have that figure times by 5, so that at the end of the 5 days, I should have this total extra amount of money. The third figure I have on my page is how much I would like to make that would completely surprise me and tickle me a little bit and make me feel like, shit, I really did make this happen. I really did create a little miracle here and make something that was well outside of my comfort zone. But it's not $1 million. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's not $1 million. It's not even $500,000 for me. But it is probably a couple of $1,000 that is more than I would normally expect to make in 5 days. So do you all have those three figures on your page that make sense to you and that is in your currency? Because don't use dollars if you're not in a country that uses dollars like I am. So can you either say yes or can you?
Yes.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Just the thought is so
Okay,
exciting.
so like I said, energetic congruence is the thing that changes this. So that is why the figures I've asked you to create are figures that are over and above enough for you to know that you're doing something different or creating something different, and not drastic enough that you're going to go, yep, if I make this, I'm now going to go retire on a tropical island. The reason we're not doing that figure for this 5 days is because I want to show you guys how quick this is. Literally, like I said, in a matter of hours, and within the hour that I finished the Facebook Live the other day, more money started coming in because the energy of that Facebook Live was so awesome. And you guys that have watched it, you know what it was. And so what we're going to do is do something like that every day for the next 5 days. So you're going to be in this energy and you're going to be in this alignment to start receiving. Now, one of the questions I had in the Facebook group was, how do I receive? How do I get more congruent or better with receiving? The question was, how do I receive more? Because I'm struggling with receiving. And I said that I would get to that. And how I'm going to address that question is not by delivering logical cognitive content to you exclusively. It's because what you're asking for is energetic or subconscious. You're going to receive it in that same way. What that means is these exercises that we're doing over the next 5 days, and I'm going to go through them in a minute, are going to make you congruent. They're going to energetically change your frequency of receiving or ability to receive, because it's making you more in tune, more aligned with the energetic frequency of receiving for you. And so to answer the question I posed earlier, why am I not proposing that we all choose a figure that would mean we could go retire and live on a beach for the rest of our life? Because, to be honest, in my experience, most people will require more than 5 days of that work. This is called inner work. This is the inner work that we do to create the things we want to create. It's going to take more than 5 days to look at, identify all the subconscious blocks, and then clear them in order to create that outcome. Can it happen? Actually, yes, I totally believe it can. However, for most people, especially if you are new to this, especially if I'm talking a language that you are only just starting to get your head around or become familiar with, or if money, like for a lot of people it is that I talked about, if money is the thing that you struggle the most with creating, it's the thing that causes the most pain in your life, it's like your little pet hang up, then it is going to take more than 5 days to clear all of the hang-ups, all of the subconscious conditioning that you have, that it creates this really deeply rooted belief. And it is that really deeply rooted belief that causes the outward experience of how much money you have and create and what happens to that money. I know that some of you are really talented at creating money, and as soon as you need money, and as soon as you're at a deadline, or as soon as you're really desperate and your back's against the wall, the money comes in because you suddenly go, right, I have to create this no matter what. I want you to start getting to a place where you have that little bit extra and you see that you can do it even when you're not under duress. And that's what this 5-day challenge is around, creating an extra little really nice sum of money for you that you can then choose to do whatever you want with. And that's going to prove to you, if you can change this in 5 days, if you can create this much change or this much extra money in 5 days, imagine what you could change with looking more at your subconscious blocks, looking more at all the conditioning that occurs in your life that you don't even know about. Imagine what would happen if you applied this stuff and actually practiced and did the inner work every day. Okay, so that is the point of this challenge. So you've got your 3 figures. This is what's going to happen.
Adeela, I have a question if you can.
So every day I'm going to jump into our Facebook group. I am hoping or assuming at this point that all of you are in our Monetize Your Business 5-day challenge Facebook group. That's where you get all of the videos uploaded to, all of the replays are there. That's where all of the Facebook lives happen. And when you sign up to the registration page, you get all of it delivered to your inbox as well, so that if you miss a replay, you can watch it as you like in your own time at your own convenience. Or if you don't have Facebook, because some people don't, you can get this delivered to your inbox. Okay, this is what's going to happen over the 5 days. Every day I'm going to jump in there and I'm going to do a challenge. I'm going to do something for this challenge. So they're 5 separate exercises, and they might seem quite similar, especially when I talk to you. However, the energy of each of those days and each of those exercises is different. So day 1, is a money meditation to get that money and your brain waves aligned and to get your money flows activated and for you to start pulling that money in. Day 2 is a money visualization exercise. Again, it might seem like that's quite similar to a meditation, but it's different. Okay? Day 3, we are going to do a clearing session. It's going to be, and if you haven't been on a clearing session with me before, they're pretty intense. They clear everything and anything that comes up that I become aware of that's going on in your world or is in the world in general at that point in time around having more money and being congruent with creating money and pulling it into your world. And that's what's going to happen. Okay, day 4, we're going to have some fun with money. We're going to invite money into our life from a place of having fun. You know, money is one of those things that sometimes or often fun flies out the window when you need to pay your bills. And when you're in that need and you're trying to push and pull and convince and bribe money into your life, the fun kind of goes out of it. So we're going to get back to creating your life and having money in your life and getting back to the fun of it, okay? Because money, the point of having it is to create your life the way that you want, the way that you desire to have those things in your life, not only that you require for day-to-day living, for running your business, but also those extra things that you would love to have that make your life either easier, more pleasurable, more exciting. That is the point. And then lastly, the 5th day, we're going to do an exercise called Become More Congruent with Your Money Story. Actually, what we're doing is we're rewriting your money story, and we're rewriting your money story in a way that you are congruent with. And why I'm so excited about that exercise is because you get to rewrite your money story, but you also get to be congruent with it. So you don't create this money story that you would love to have or this reality for money that you would love to have. However, below your cognitive or logical mind, your subconscious conditioning is not congruent with it. That's when you set yourself up for failure. And that's why I do this work, and I do it with so many businesses, is often businesses will have a goal or a target. And when I say business, guys, I work with every type of business. I'm not talking just about big corporates or big business with millions of dollars. I'm talking about sole traders, so single one-person entities who are doing a business, such as being a facilitator, a practitioner, a real estate agent. I'm talking about contractors. You may be someone who contracts to provide a service to someone else or to a company or a business. Or you might be a small to medium enterprise. And I work with a lot of these. A small to medium enterprise are those businesses that are 1 to 15 people in a business. You're turning over money, you employ some staff, you have things in place like payrolls and incoming and outgoing, and you have, you may be a physical business, what I call a brick and mortar business with a storefront, whether it's a clinic or a store or a practice, or like I said, a mortgage brokering business, a real estate business, a coaching business. What are the other businesses that I work with? Restaurants, chefs. You might be in product, or you might be in event management, those kind of businesses. And then the last kind of business is, of course, those big businesses, those businesses that have multi-billion dollars worth of revenue, that may be global enterprises. I work with those people too, because believe it or not, they have money problems too, or they have incongruence issues too. Just because, like I said, just because someone is bringing in a lot of money, or it looks like they're highly successful on the outside, doesn't mean that they don't deal with the effects of this on the inside too. Or internally, their business structure might be highly inefficient or ineffective. And so it doesn't matter what stage of business you're in. And if you don't have a business, how does it get better? Because imagine getting on top of this before you start a business, or before you start your next job, or you start wanting to make money. You know, if you don't have a business yet, this is the best time for you to be doing this work. Or if you're at the beginning stages of a business, or 10 years into having a business, but realizing that something's still not working for you, then I would love to get this kind of sort this out. And that's why I'm talking about sorting out your money story, because believe it or not, we all have a story. It just, all that's different is what we believe that story is and how we let it affect us. So whatever your money story is, and whatever parts of having money and creating money with ease that you are incongruent with, that creates problems in your life or your business, such as you might have lots of ease with the money coming in because you make the sales and the money comes in, but just as much, if not more money goes right back out. So actually at the end of it, you're still faced with a deficit. You're still faced with being stressed about money because you have lots of money coming in, you have just as much going out, you still have a money problem. Or you can't even generate or create that first sale. You still have a money problem. Or you're in huge amounts of debt, you still have a money problem. Or the only way you know how to function with money is by creating lots of debt or borrowing money. You don't know what it's like to have that money or to create that money. When you think about having large amounts of money in your bank account that you can just have and use and spend, it's kind of inconceivable to you, maybe because of how you grew up, maybe because of your family background with money, maybe because you've just never had it happen, maybe because you got into business and it was one thing after the other and you just couldn't figure out how to get on top of it. Like, this really often happens in business. And so I can talk about this stuff for days, guys, and I literally have said that so many times, and it's why I have programs like the Business Upgrade program that's starting next month. This program, each module goes into massive amounts of detail, plus has all of the backup information in the manual, plus has additional exercises and homework to really get to the bottom of every area of your life and your business and your money story, as well as any other story with those parts of your life that correspond to business. And family is one of them. Time is one of them. So these things that you may not think affect your money and your business flows do affect your money and your business flows. And so that's why I love talking about this stuff, because I love talking about stuff that people think has no effect on their life or their business or their money flows. And to see them clear that stuff up and see how the other areas of their life that they thought were completely unrelated start to change, that's one of my favorite things, okay? So, right. I have a question here. Immediately after putting down those numbers, I had a feeling that maybe they are too high. Is that normal? Okay, so did anyone else have that? Does anyone else think, oh, did I get the right number? Is mine too high or too low? Or okay. So for that, I wanted you to pick a number that was over and above, that wasn't going to be a complete cakewalk. That wasn't going to be like, that wouldn't be enough for you to discount it. So maybe $2 or 100 rupees would not be a good amount, because you would say, oh, well, I could have found that on the road. But is enough for you to go, but is enough that you wouldn't freak out about it and kind of cut off your receiving from it. So the figure should be just outside, but not completely uncomfortable. It should feel light to you, not heavy. What I mean by that is you shouldn't be going into doubt, but you should be a little bit excited. If that little question in your mind is creating a little bit of excitement in your stomach about having that extra amount of money, then that is the right amount of money. You want a tingle, a light tingle of excitement or happiness, and try not to think too much about it. Your third figure, which was your big amount that is outside of your comfort zone, that if you pulled it off, you would go, wow, that one, it's okay if you feel like that one's a little too high. Like I said, it shouldn't be completely unbelievable. If you're at zero, then, you know, $10,000 in 5 days might be completely for you, where you are currently at. There might be no way that you are energetically congruent with that, so I don't encourage you to choose that number. But maybe receiving $1,000 extra would be like, oh my god, this is awesome. I had no money and no income, and now I have an extra $1,000. That's awesome. So that second figure, yeah, should be a little more, definitely more uncomfortable and more of a stretch, and for you to not physically or logically have any idea how you would create it. This is about getting out of your cognitive, controlling, predisposed and preconditioned mind. This is about you starting to get into the magic that gets created when you are in energetic congruence and an energetic flow. That is when not only money just comes in, but everything is with ease. Does that answer your questions? Cool, awesome. So I hope everyone has those figures now, and if anyone's watching the replay, like I said, I encourage you to also try not to lose this piece of paper. It would be really awesome if you could keep this piece of paper or transfer this to somewhere, whether it's a journal or a book or a piece of paper by your computer, where you're going to see it every day and know what that what those figures are, and not get to the end of the week and dismiss it because it either was too easy or you forgot about the challenge. Okay, so now, what do we do from here? So you're going to jump into the Facebook group every day, and I will tell you what time it will be, and we will do the challenge. And for those of you, and I'm trying my best, guys, and I'm playing around with times. I'm trying to make this work for all the different time zones that we are in all over the world. So I understand that some of you or a lot of you may not be able to join me live. For those of you that can, awesome. How does it get better? For those of you that can't, you can watch it in the group. You can watch it in your inbox at any time and just use it as that day's exercise, whatever time zone you are in. Now, this is the point of the challenge. Don't think about it. Don't overthink it. Don't start judging yourself, thinking about it, cognitively going round in circles or head tripping about those figures and whether or not you can make it happen. Okay, I'll go back over the challenge in a minute. So, as soon as this starts, in fact, as soon as you get off this call, do not be surprised if that money starts coming in. And listen, guys, this is kind of important. This is why I want you to write down the figures and not disregard them and kind of not change them halfway through. Of course you can, and as soon as I say you can't, you probably will want to do that, so go ahead. Why I'm saying that is, for example, if you put down $100 a day or $50 a day, which right now seems just enough of a stretch for you and be a really pleasant amount for you to receive, and you start the challenge and immediately on day one you have $50 come in, and on day two you have $75 come in, I don't want you to go into, oh, I chose a figure that was too easy and I'm cheating and I should now up my ask to $200 a day. there's a reason that money is going to start coming in really easily. It's because we're doing the work to make you really energetically congruent with it. And when you're congruent, when your ask is congruent with the energy that you put out to the universe, it does happen that easily. So I don't want you to go, oh, I didn't pick a number that was high enough and I should now change my number. I want you to go to my second most important and thing I love to talk about, which is gratitude, and go, wow, universe, thank you so much. If I can create this much money with this much ease and I kept making this much every day on top of what I normally expected to make, how great is my life going to be? And when you become really congruent with it, then sure, up your ask. Up your ask to double that amount or triple that amount. But go through these 5 days and become really congruent with that amount and really grateful when that amount comes in. Because I am pretty damn sure that amount is going to come in. And this is why you have that third number, which is your big ask, which is your uncomfortable ask, which is the ask that you are a little bit more, I don't know if I can really pull this off about. I don't know if this money challenge is that good that I could pull in that amount. Because that amount should be big enough that you're not sure if you can be congruent with it and you're not sure if you can make it. And this is how that part works. I'm not vested in whether or not you make that amount, that third amount, and even whether I make it. What I'm interested in is how close I get to it, whether I come really close to creating that big amount, whether I make it on the dot at the end of the 5 days, or whether I completely overshoot it. This is why I'm really excited. Don't be surprised if that big amount for you is something that right now you think, God, I don't know how that much money would come in. And at the end of those 5 days, you've over and above created an amount that you're like, what on earth? Because you're becoming congruent with having more money every day of this challenge. So today, at the beginning, at day 0, today is day 0, you are not congruent with that much extra money coming into your life. By day 2, you may be 30% or more congruent with that much money. So the universe starts to show it to you. By day 4, hopefully you're about 80 to 90% more congruent with having more money. By day 5 or 6, you should have an amount that surprises you. Okay, and so I'd like to add in a little incentive here. This is what I'm really quite excited about. This is why I wanted you to write down the amount, and you can either write down the amount and send it to me or not, but I'm really wanting to hear your stories around creating that amount. I want to hear your stories every day around how much money is coming in. And if you are willing to, I would ask that you would please put it into our closed and private Monetize Your Business group on Facebook, so that that energy can help propel and inspire the other members in that group. And so that it makes it okay. The energy of receiving and having more money is okay. The reason I have made it a closed private group, not a public and open to anyone group, is because having lots of money and celebrating it is actually not something that we get taught to do, and is often not something that most members of society are congruent with. It's actually not okay to say, I've got an extra $5,000. What should I do with it? And that is why this group has been created. I want you to post your money success. And I want you to know that it is a safe and acceptable place for you to do that. And if anything comes up that makes you feel like you are not safe in that group, I will moderate it for you. So let me know, okay? But I'm keeping a close eye on that group. I want it to be a safe place for us to be the leaders for having more money and having lots more money in the world. Because when we have money and we're going to choose to be an inspiration to others, we're actually helping others. in the meantime, while we're cleaning up our subconscious conditioning and getting more money, it's a closed private group for you to have a play in there, okay? Naina, to answer your question, day 1 of the challenge is a money meditation, okay? So all of these exercises, join me live and then go back and listen to it when you're at home, or you can get comfortable, or you can listen to that on a loop if you want. Imagine how much money you'd create if you did it that way. Okay, so to finish that little track that I was on, that I went off track with, I want you to have that third amount written down, and I want you can send it to me via private message or email at the beginning of the challenge. And at the end of those 5 days, I want you to tell me where you got. Whether you made a third of that amount, that full amount, or you went over and above. Because I do have a few super special gifts, and it doesn't actually matter. I'm not going to give it to the person that creates the most amount over and above. I'm going to give a couple of really great scholarships to my upcoming business upgrade program, to the people that create the most shift in their subconscious conditioning. That is what I'm interested in, because the business upgrade program blitzes through every area of your life and business, and it will create the shift times 100 for you guys. And I know that there are some people on here that would love to be on it, and so I would love if you would like to be part of that program. I'm going to offer a couple of scholarships to the people that do the work in this challenge, okay? So I will post more information about the business upgrade program as well when I send out this replay or when I post in that group. So do I have any questions? Is how this challenge going to work starting to make a little bit of sense? Is it exciting enough for you to think that 5 days from now, because we start on the 19th, so we start tomorrow, it's a Monday, depending on where in the world you are. For me, it's Sunday night right now. It's going to be Monday tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Friday, by the end of Friday, perhaps over that weekend, you guys can send me your success stories and send me the amounts that you have created, because I am so excited. And I'm so excited. Like I said, I was saying to someone, I didn't expect this to be working on me, but now I'm excited about how much more money I'm going to make. And I'm going to share it with you guys, because this is what this is about. It's about being okay with being vulnerable, because when we are vulnerable with our stories, with our thinking or our conditioning around any area of our life, but especially with money, this is how we can change it. And so I'm really so excited and so grateful for those of you that are wanting and willing and ready to play and ready to give this a shot and ready to have more money. And I really look forward to hearing all of your success stories. So I know that there might be, I know that I've repeated a lot of information. What I'm going to do is probably create another video that's a very short, precise and concise version of the 5-day challenge. So look out for that in the Facebook group as well. And every day I will say, and I'll give you at least a couple of hours notice. The live exercise is happening at this time in the group. Jump into the group now. We're doing the exercise, okay? And we will do those exercises and we will see those money miracles happen. And we will see the power of congruence and the power of our minds, because this is how we start to change, and this is how we start to change our mind, is by being willing to look at and change the underlying conditioning that creates our outward experiences. So Yeah, and I will repost the 3 figures, okay? So for those of you that need more information, or this Zoom has just been already blown you out of the water, I will repost a more precise video telling you the instructions for the 5-day challenge and telling you the 3 figures to write. I'll also do a written version as a post into the Facebook group and email it out to you guys that have registered for the 5-day challenge, so you get all of the emails accompanying it. And I'm so excited, and thank you so much for joining. And how does it get better? So see you all soon, and see you at the end of, well, I'll see you in between, but also I can't wait to see you at the end of the 5 days and see how much money we've all made, okay? So have a great day and a great night wherever you are.